Queen Margrethe II was born just a week after Nazi Germany invaded Denmark in 1940. At the time of her birth, only men could ascend to the throne of the Danish kingdom. She is the first female monarch of Denmark since Margrethe I, who reigned from 1387 to 1412. Margrethe II, Denmark's first female monarch in 500 years. Princess Margrethe was born on April 16, 1940 at Frederik VIII's palace, her parents' residence in the Amalienborg Palace complex, the main residence of the Danish royal family in Frederiksstaden in central Copenhagen. She was the first child of the then Crown Prince and Crown Princess, who later became King Frederik IX and Queen Ingrid. Interestingly, Margrethe was born just a week after Nazi Germany invaded Denmark on April 7. On April 20, 1947, King Christian X died and Margrethe's father ascended the throne as King Frederik IX. At the time of Margrethe's birth, the Kingdom of Denmark had a rule that only men could ascend to the throne due to changes in inheritance laws passed in the 1850s when the Glucksburg branch was chosen for succession. Since Margrethe had no brothers, she has two sisters. It was assumed that her uncle Prince Knud would become king after her father, but things began to change after King Frederik IX came to the throne. He and his daughters were popular in Denmark, and women began to play a more prominent role in mainstream Danish life. The paradigm shift in Danish society led to a change in the constitution and a new act of succession to the throne. This allowed female members to inherit the throne of Denmark according to kinship primogeniture with male preference, where a woman could only ascend the throne if she had no brother. This made Princess Margrethe heir to the throne of Denmark. When she turned 18, Margrethe was given a seat on the Council of State, and in 1960 she traveled to the United States and met several celebrities including Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis, and Elvis Presley. She married French diplomat Henri de Laborde de Montpez on June 10, 1967. They were together for over 50 years, until his death on February 13, 2018. After the death of King Frederik IX on January 14, 1972, Margrethe ascended the throne at the age of 31, becoming the first Danish female sovereign under the new Act of Succession. Queen Margrethe II renounced all previous titles of monarch except the title of Denmark, hence her style, by the grace of God, Queen of Denmark. Her accession made her the first female monarch of Denmark since Margrethe I, ruler of the Scandinavian kingdoms from 1387 to 1412. Queen Margrethe II is a talented artist who has had many art exhibitions over the years. She drew illustrations under the pseudonym Ingehild Gratmer, and her work was used for the Danish editions of The Lord of the Rings, which she was asked to illustrate in the early 1970s. She sent them to J.R.R. Tolkien, who was surprised by the similarity of her drawings to his own. Her drawings were redrawn by British artist Eric Fraser for the Folio Society's English edition of The Lord of the Rings, first published in 1977 and reprinted in 2002. She is also known for her skills in costume design. She designed costumes for the Royal Danish Ballet's production of A Folk Tale and for Peter Flint's 2009 film De Vilde Svaner, The Wild Swans. The role of the Queen in Denmark. According to the Danish constitution, the Queen is mainly tasked with representing the kingdom abroad and being a unifying figure at home. She cannot take any part in party politics, nor can she express any political views. She has the right to vote, but she prefers not to use her right to vote to avoid any political controversy. Every Wednesday she meets with the Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister to keep abreast of the country's affairs. If the incumbent Prime Minister does not have a majority after an election, the Queen holds a dronningerunde, Queen's meeting, where she meets with the chairman of each of the Danish political parties. Each party can choose a royal investigator to lead these talks, or can give the current Prime Minister a mandate to continue in this role. In theory, each party can choose its own leader to serve as royal investigator, but often only one royal investigator plus the Prime Minister is chosen before each election. The leader who manages to win a majority of seats is tasked with forming a new government. Once the government is formed, it is officially appointed by the Queen. Officially, the Queen is the head of government, and she thus presides over the Council of State, Privy Council, where acts of legislation passed by Parliament are signed into law. In practice, almost all of the Queen's formal powers are exercised by the Danish cabinet. The Queen is also the Commander-in-Chief of the Princess of Wales's Royal Regiment, Royal and Royal Hampshires, an infantry regiment of the British Army, following a family tradition.